Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Only a brief one really, because we don't see much movement. In the previous video I already indicated that we might not see a lot of movement over the next few days because of the holidays and everything. But let's take a look. A quick reminder of where we are with Bitcoin here. Heading to the downside here in a wave 5, ending diagonal. That is the chart, shows the 4-hour chart since June. And off that top 25k, we've been moving down, in my opinion, in an ending diagonal, or in a diagonal pattern within an ending diagonal. I know it's a bit complicated, don't worry about it. My view is ABC to the downside. We are now in the C wave. The C wave is a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3. There's now two possibilities. Either we go up, in my opinion, against this resistance of the descending wedge and will then come down to the region around 14 to 14.5k, or we break down straight away. These are the two possibilities that I see with a high likelihood. It all depends how it now turns out on the short term, but bear in mind the upside potential is still very limited. Yeah, maybe 19k, maybe a little bit higher, but I'm still very strongly in favor of another low for Bitcoin until Bitcoin can really show us a 5-wave move to the upside and a clear 3-wave move down. Then I will change my view, but until then it's just too messy what's going on here, and all of that confirms for me that we are still expecting another low. Going to the 1-hour chart is interesting. We currently have an absolute mess here again, unfortunately, with Bitcoin. So it's, you know, in these environments I can only encourage you, have your risk management in place. Always try to encourage people to think much more about what you can risk in terms of what you can gain. If you have risk management in place in these sort of diagonal patterns, messy price action, you're going to do much better than someone who's just looking for, you know, what can I gain. It is just a fairly messy structure here. Two possibilities. Yeah, one possibility is the explained 3-wave move to the upside. Wave A to the upside, wave B down into the red support area, which we did, and now we're looking for 5 waves up. From here I would expect us to come down eventually. Yeah, this is the, let's say, short-term more bullish count, where we expect now 5 waves up. That's the red count in a wave C, and overall indicated, or overall part of this wave 4. Then the other count, and that is the more bearish count, it's the blue count. The blue count assumes that we have come down. Well, we've come down in 5 waves here. It was a very nice 5-wave move down, which also, I'm going to zoom in a bit, which also came into this red support area a few days ago. So we turned around as anticipated in that turnaround area, in that trend reversal area. And in the blue count, this was a wave 1 impulse, very clear 5-wave move. We are now moving up in 3 waves, A, B, and the C wave is probably already ongoing in a wave 2. And we would, as per this, wait for a wave 3 to the downside, then a wave 4 up and a wave 5 down. This is absolutely a very probable outcome as long as we stay well below 17.3k. Even above that, it will not really be invalidated. It will, in my opinion, only become very unlikely, this direct breakout scenario, if we move above 17,500 and if we move above 17.8k. Only then this blue count will get unlikely. When is the blue count confirmed? Well, it will get very likely below 16,570, and in my opinion it will be confirmed below 15,870. Then we are most likely going to go down straight away to 14 to 14.5k, maybe even lower. And until then, obviously the upside to 19k is also still possible. So in this scenario, it's very hard to say, you know, what is the preferred outcome at the moment. And it has been really a luxury. We don't get that very often. Those scenarios have been very much aligned until now. When we came down here, the expectation was to get into the red support area, to move up, which it happened, which it did. yeah, then in both scenarios, we expected to get into this wide support area, which it did. And now I'm expecting again to get into this wide support area, which is between 16,640 and 16,730. Would be ideal. It doesn't necessarily need to get there, but it would be ideal. And from here to move up in both scenarios, because I don't think this bounce is over. Also in the bearish wave count, I would at least expect a move to 17.3K. So the move up is still expected. The only question is, do we get into this wide support area or not before we go up? Ideally, yes. Ideally, yes. It is the higher, it's the option of more likelihood for me. But it's choppy. It's hard, What am I leaning to? What's the primary expectation? Is it the blue count? Is it the red count? Red count, again, a reminder, would take us higher. Blue count, not. Primary expectation, to be honest, is still my red count here, where we would go higher. But I mentioned it many times before, I don't really like the term primary expectation and alternative, because a lot of people who hear this will just go with the primary expectation and will just trade it. Whereas what you should really do if you're trading, and a lot of people will understand this, a lot of people will do this, to just trade level by level and trade the trade setups, not trade necessarily only the primary expectation. I recently traded not my primary expectation, and it worked out nicely. So it's all part of the strategy, it's part of risk management. Trade level by level, trade setups, yeah, not just blindly follow a primary expectation. This is only what I'm leaning to, and this can be wrong quite a bit. What the Elliott Wave method helps us with is identifying trade setups, low risk, high reward setups. This is one, the white one here, support area where we could move up if we get into this area, which again is based on Fibonacci support levels. Here again, yeah, 16,640 to 16,730 roughly. If we get into this area, this could then, and we hold support, it would most likely move in the next wave up in a wave 3 and take us to around 17.2K. That is a low risk, high reward trade setup. And yeah, this is sort of what we can go with. And that's still the expectation. In the very short term, there isn't too much happening, unfortunately. I mean, it's, it's weekend now anyway, it's holiday season, so there isn't much going to happen. But I think, we could have in this wave 2 maybe already the ABC complete. Yeah, and the wave 2 was over. That's possible, but the move up after that hasn't really convinced me. So I would actually like to see still another low in this wide support area. And that would be on the short time frame, also my primary expectation. However, if we break above this wave 1 high, 16,880, and then follow through and break above 16,915 as well, we're most likely going to go up. There's also a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here that you could identify, just sort of, we've got a, bit hard to see maybe, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then off we go. So, and that target would be pretty much in line with my Fibonacci extension target of around 17.2K, I believe, without looking. Yeah, 17,187 roughly. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.